What's going on, everyone? So it's official. Luka Doncic has signed a 3-year deal, which is a little surprising because he wasn't expected to sign it till tomorrow. But he officially became official today. I'm curious if this is one of those, like he agreed to it and they made the announcement like, hey, all is done, and he'll officially sign, like pen to paper, tomorrow, because he's not expected in LA till tomorrow for that event. But maybe he made it in today and signed it. Who knows? But it was announced. It's official. Shams says, right, that Luka, the Los Angeles Lakers, all-NBA star, Luka Doncic, has signed a 3-year, $165 million max contract extension with the franchise, with the player option in 2028, agent Bill Duffy. So a couple things about this, right? One, he signed exactly what myself and many others thought he was going to, which was 3 years with a player option that third year. Why? Because then he can opt out that third year and now get a much larger return. Right? Because you look at the money that he's going to lose because of the lack of Supermax, right? He's losing like $50 million. How do you recoup that? Yet this next extension, as soon as he hits that 10-year mark, he can opt out. And then now he gets a much larger, I think it's like 35% of the cap. So he'll be able to get a much larger amount of the cap, which then now allows him to kind of start to recoup some of that money that he lost. Now, it was reported by several people that Luka was going to sign a 4-year max and potentially a player option at the end. And I talked about that. Like, if that would have happened, that would have been huge for the Lakers, because not only would you have had him on a discount at least 1 year, right? Because look at it like this right now. He signed a 3-year, right, max extension. If he would have signed the 4-year max extension, that opt-out would have been a year earlier, which means he would have had cheaper amounts those 3 years, because that third year, he's going to opt out and he's going to sign that full max, that 10-year extension. So another thing to keep in mind, and I'll remind everybody, 3 years from now, he's probably going to opt out of that. So he'll probably hit free agency and then sign that new extension, right? So for those that are like freaking out 3 years from now of like, oh, he hasn't signed a new extension yet and this is his final year, it won't be like that. What'll end up happening is he'll opt out because he'll get more money if he opts out. So it'll kind of be like an Austin Reeves situation, right? Like Reeves isn't going to stick around and sign an extension because he makes less money. So he'll opt out and then do that. So Lakers, I do like this for a couple reasons. Obviously, it would have been nice if we would have gotten Luka on a discount. I mean, technically we do, right? Like, for being honest, if we would have drafted Luka, he'd be making $70+ million on this next contract rather than $50 million, right? So I'm glad that, we have him cheaper than we would have otherwise. But, I would have been nice if we would have gotten that 4-year deal where we got that extra year, maybe even 2, depending on how it was structured, because it would have given the Lakers the luxury to kind of really, round this out. But I talked about it, made a video this morning about it, that today was the official day Luka became extension eligible, right? The thing is that my concerns were that the Lakers would kind of exhale, go, we did it, everybody. Woo! Yeah. All right. Now let's take a break. Everyone take a beat. It's fine. Let's go have a beer, right? Like, that was my concern. Rather than like the sense of urgency that there should be now, where it's like, hey, we have this year, yes, but then we have 2 years to put together a perennial all-star championship level team, or he's walking, right? He could leave. Like Luka has loyalty. You see these European guys, they have loyalty. They have a lot of loyalty. But his loyalty originally was to Dallas. Does he have the same level of loyalty to Dallas where he was never going to leave Dallas? Does he have that with the Lakers, right? Maybe. He's talked about how he wants to spend here. He wants to spend his career here and all that stuff. And you can see him getting more and more. He started being in all these magazines and stuff. He's out here just like, living his best life. So maybe, right? But it's also possible that he does. It's also possible if the Lakers don't do their end and don't do what they're supposed to do, that he leaves. Here's the other thing, too, about that 2027 preserving cap space. You have one shot, right? If that's really the plan, right? And the plan is to go preserve cap space and go and bring in another star, Luka, by that point, Luka, you'll be in his final year. right? So, or going into his final, because he's going to opt, you got to remember, he's going to opt out. So, it is very possible that if you do that and you don't win over these next 2 years, LeBron leaves, you're preserving cap space, you have a down year, and you're not able to get a Giannis or Jokic or somebody like that, or one of your guys don't turn into a star. Like Ayton isn't is good, but not second best player good, and Jake LaRavia or somebody, like, unless somebody either becomes it or you're able to land it, it is very possible if we're a bad basketball team, Luka goes, I'm out of here. Right? I need to win, especially if we haven't won up until that point. If the Lakers haven't won a championship up until the point of Luka Doncic, then or that extension, then yeah, he very well could be like, you know what, I'm done, get me out of here. Right? So my hope is, and the reason I like and prefer the 3-year deal, even though just long term it would have been better for the Lakers, but the reason I prefer this deal is I'm hoping that this puts pressure on the Lakers. Like, this should alleviate some tension. Right? This should put them in somewhat ease. Their mind should be, okay, hey, you know what? We're good, right? We got them, right? But we don't have time to play around. That's my hope. My hope is that the Lakers are looking at this like, hey, like we don't have the luxury of playing games here, right? Because if we don't get this done, if we don't do this right in the next few years, he could just leave. And that's it, because he's never going to sign that extension because he won't get as much money. Right? So he's going to opt out and hit free agency no matter what. So the thing is that we can't run the risk of just losing him. We need to make sure that he's happy, he's comfortable, and he's winning championships. Luckily, Luka Doncic himself has said that, or not himself, but reports and his camp and all that stuff, that he wants to win now, and he's putting in the work in order to do that. Not only physically and the body transformation stuff, but also in recruiting. He recruited Ayton, recruited Marcus Smart, which also it's reported that his plan is to continue. Like, he wants to, hey, let's sit down, map out who we want. I'll make the calls. Right? And I've talked about that. That's huge, because it's one thing when the boss calls, or the exec. Yeah, so we'd love to hear you. And you're hearing the same repetitive, like, oh, yes, I'm so good. It'd be great for your team and blah, blah, blah. It's another thing when your buddy, the guy, that's working there, the super cool manager or whatever that, like, everyone loves, calls you and goes, hey, man, like, dude, I'd love to play. Like, come on. Like, it's all of a sudden, it's the whole, like, if you're at work and your boss tells you something, you're like, oh, or you're making up excuse or whatever. But when your buddy, your coworker comes up and he's like, hey man, can you help me with the trash, man? I really could use it. You're like, all right, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because you get it. You understand, right? Same thing. Luka picks up that phone and he calls. People answer. People listen. People go. I mean, you saw Marcus Smart. You saw DeAndre, and both guys were like, hey, this is the best spot for us. And Luka's a guy that'll make everyone better because he is so good. He's such a good engine. He's a guy that's going to raise the ceiling. You're always going to be in contention because he's that good. So you're going to be one of the best teams in basketball every year as long as he's healthy and good, right? Like, so if you're the Lakers, your only job is to not screw this up. Like, literally. Like, that's literally, it's that simple. Don't screw this up. He's here. He's staying, right? Which many of us believed he was going to. You had the naysayers, but I was very confident. I kept saying he's going to sign that extension. But like, you have everything. You have him. He's committed. He's here. And he's willing to recruit for you at a level that we haven't really had, right? Like, LeBron's, recruited guys here and there, but it's mostly been like Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. Like, it's been like the bigger names. Like, he's willing to go, hey, like, dude, we need a point of attack guy. Marcus Smart, come on, let's go. Right? Like, let's go do that. Let's go. Right? So, again, it's different when the star picks up the phone. It's different when the star is the one that wants to have this conversation and wants to, like, hey, I want you here. But at the end of the day, right, all Rob has to do is his job. Now, look, that doesn't mean you go, again, I still stand by patience, right? I still am somebody that's like, hey, no trade is better than a bad trade. I'm sure Luka feels the same. You got to remember, the Lakers are running everything through Luka. And the Lakers organization is very good about that, right? They've always done that. Always ran all their moves by their top stars. What do you think? What do you want? How do you feel? Right? And you also have the thing about Luka is he has another big agent, right? Like just like LeBron, Clutch has a wide net, right? So does Duffy, right? Duffy has a wide net. So, you look at kind of the setup here for the Lakers. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better one. Honestly, you couldn't ask for a better one. Lakers have everything that they need locked in, ready to go. You have probably the best duo in all of basketball this year. You landed your center. You landed your point. Like, Lakers have a good team, good offseason. I don't think anyone would be shocked if they're winning the NBA championship this year. I'm sure that there's some haters in the comments that are like, oh, Lakers suck. Like, okay. But outside of those guys, I think everyone could be a consensus of like, yes, there's questions. Yes, there's concerns about this team. Yes, there's holes with this team, but that's every team in basketball. There is no Golden State Warrior or Kevin Durant Warriors anymore, right? There's not that team where you're just like, why are we even playing basketball? They're just going to win it, right? Like there's even OKC, all of that. There's a lot of teams that you look at that Lakers aren't that they're either there or they're not that far off of, and the difference could be Luka and LeBron James. So we'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.